What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Phase 6, your source for music, business, motivation, and support. It's your boy, Sirr Love, and I got an exciting episode for you guys. We're getting ready to talk about CEO mentality as a manager. Yes, I've been getting a whole lot of questions and comments and thoughts around management. I've been watching the YouTube videos, the stats on the YouTube videos, and a lot of people are requesting and commenting on and searching for more management content. So I figured I'd go ahead and oblige you guys and provide more management content. Plus, people are using the phone number and the website to send out a lot of messages about management. So I'm going to answer some of those questions in this little mini additional management series that I'm going to do. But I want to make sure that I'm giving you guys everything you guys need in that particular area. So music management, CEO mentality. Let's talk about it. Let's get it, Sirr Love. Alright, so we're going to jump straight into it. Now check this out. A lot of people, when they think about management, as everyone knows, a manager gets a fee, a percentage off of what the artist makes when the artist goes out there and does their thing. So a lot of people think, or a lot of comments and questions is, the way they've been written to me, is that the manager is, kind of just like an a la carte provider for the artist that just does little mini services for the artist along the way, and then it gets to get this huge percentage. And that's really not how it goes. As a manager, yes, everyone knows that you're pretty much responsible for the artist. You're responsible for the artist's success. You have to make sure the artist is okay. You're helping them book shows. You're helping them market. But you're not just an assistant. I don't want you guys to get it twisted. A manager is not an artist assistant. They're not just someone there to help make things happen. Now, at the higher levels, like once an artist is super uber established, right? You do get little periods in time where as a manager, you're really just picking up the phone and deciding yes or no, yes or no. Do I do this opportunity or do I not do this opportunity? But then at some point you have to expand outside of that. So let's talk about what expansion looks like for a manager. A successful music manager, a person that's giving the artist the value that they need, is going to have a CEO mentality. And what do I mean by that? It means that they are looking at the whole project holistically from the top to the bottom and trying to figure out how to increase the bottom line, which means make more profits, right? How do they do that? Well, profits in business are done by either increasing revenue or cutting expenses, cutting costs. All right, you increase revenue by finding new opportunities. You cut costs by getting rid of things that you shouldn't be paying for. But another big way to find more value as a company owner, as a CEO, is to be more efficient. One of the best ways to be more efficient is to have better systems in place and have better team members in place. Now, how do you go about doing this? So let's talk about what you're going to be thinking like and moving like as a presidential CEO for an artist company. So look at it like this. As a manager, you are the CEO for that artist company. So your artist name is ABC. So their company is ABC Incorporated. You are the president of ABC Incorporated, and you get 20%. Imagine getting 20% of Google if you were the president of Google, or 20% of Coca-Cola if you was the president of Coca-Cola. That's freaking crazy. No one eats like that, but you have the opportunity to build the brand up and build the value that the artist has up. So what do you have to do? First couple things you're going to do is you're going to recruit all the other people on the team. You're the CEO over who? Who are the people that are reporting to you? Who are the people that are helping to get things done? Well, if you're looking at it from like a corporate CEO mentality, then you're saying, okay, I need someone over marketing, or I need somebody that has some creative direction, a creative director or a marketer. You're going to say, hey, we need to have some type of person involved that's making sure the money's on point, some type of accountant, CFO. In the music business, that's going to be a business manager. You want to make sure that you got somebody on the road that's overseeing operations on the road, right? That's going to be the road manager. Basically, all the parts of the team. We talked about it so many times in the team building episodes, but what I want you to recognize as a manager is that you are the operational lead, the glue that keeps all these things together. Everyone comes to you and you give the vision of the artist, just like a president or CEO gives the vision of the board or the vision that the stakeholders have, which is usually make more money. And then the CEO has to figure out how to do this creatively and how to inspire the rest of the company to make those things happen. And that is your job as the manager. So CEO mentality as a manager, I want you guys to be thinking, who do I need to bring on to make this thing happen? That's number one, okay? That's going to help you with your efficiency. Number two, how do we increase revenue? We increase revenue by finding more opportunities. You find more opportunities by chasing the 5 streams of income. We're going to talk about the 5 streams of income in the next video. But for right now, recognize that you're going to increase revenue by increasing one of the 5 major streams of revenue that there are in the music business. And the other piece of being a CEO mentality manager are going to be to cut costs. What are the things that you guys are spending money on that you shouldn't be spending money on that you can decrease? That often happens from a team builder standpoint early on in the game. So if you're just starting, you're on the ground, you're doing this by building relationships with engineers, with studio managers, with producers, with writers, so that one, you don't have to pay for studio time, you don't have to pay for, records to be written, you don't have to pay for beats, you don't have to pay for all these different things. That cuts your costs, allows you to create more, to retain more profit for the company, right? At the same time, you want to decrease other costs. You want to build relationships with distribution companies, distribution platforms, whether that's Spinrilla or whether that's Empire, whether that's, Universal, whoever it's going to be. You want to be able to position yourself in such a way that you can get the best deal by cutting the cost and making sure that you don't have to pay out to so many different people, right? Cutting costs. Anything that takes money out of your books, you need to be looking at it with a fine-tooth comb and saying, how do we cut the cost here? This is CEO mentality as a manager. A manager needs to have this wide breadth, this wide scope to figure out how to increase profitability, because as a manager, you get paid off of that 20%. If you're cutting expenses, that 20% grows. If you're increasing revenue, that 20% grows. If you're becoming more efficient, that 20% grows. Another thing the CEOs do, I mentioned it earlier, is they have systems. They have systematic ways of doing things. They have a repetitive process that they can do over and over and over and over again. Now, this is something that a lot of people skip on. There's been a lot of companies that have broken in artists and didn't know exactly how to break the next artist. And so they haven't been able to create that consistency. I can name drop a couple people, but I'd rather you guys just do your own homework and pay attention. There are different companies that have been able to drop one artist after the next artist, after the next artist, after the next artist, and be successful. And there's been others that's just been able to drop one, miss, half of one. They don't have a consistent system. You even see artists struggling with that in their own music. You have some artists that can drop a hit. You got some artists that drop crazy album. The artists that are able to be consistent have some type of system in place, whether it's certain producers they go to, whether it's a workout schedule, whether it's a pre-studio regimen before they go in the booth, whether it's just, something that they've honed over time. Whatever it is, you guys want to create efficient systems. You want to be able to work with similar people over and over and over again to get the job done. The more you do something in repetition, the smoother the process gets. So if you know how to release it, if you've never released a project, you've never ever started from the beginning, cut a project, wrote the project down, went in the studio, recorded it, mixed it, mastered it, put the ISRC codes on there, registered it, copywrote the record, put the record out there in the market, distributed it for everyone to see, marketed the record, just that piece. Bump the success of it, but just that piece, if you've never done that before, it can be a strenuous process. Every piece along the way can be difficult. You may try multiple times at every piece. I know artists that have been out here struggling for 6-7 years. Swear to God, if you talk to them, they're gonna pop that game because they've gotten great at maybe some of the business aspects, but they haven't got great at even finishing a record. They've never put a whole project out there. Just that process, right? You wanna get to the point where you can do those things consistently. You can consistently release. You can consistently tour. You can consistently do a show. You can consistently do the things that add value to what you do. So keep tabs on what you do and how you did it, and try to track what you're doing so that you can repeat that process, whether from a manager, whether that's you repeating it with the same artist or repeating it with the next artist that comes along. Your system is what people are going to buy into, okay? So think about that. CEO mentality. There are a couple things that I mentioned. I talked about increasing revenue, cutting costs, being efficient, and having a system. These are the 4 things. I put up 3. These are the 4 things that are really going to differentiate you as a manager out there. There's a lot of other things that you can do, but I want you guys to start having CEO mentality. Anything that you see these major Fortune 500 companies doing, these major tech companies doing, these major oil companies doing, these major whatever companies doing, their philosophies, their approaches, their tactics are things that can be mirrored in the music industry. Business is business. You have to get to the point where you can recognize the difference. Now, yes, get away from the paper and paper pushing and identifying things. There are some organic things. There's the heart, there's emotion, there's a feeling, there's a vibe, there's an energy, there's a swag, there's a jargon, there's a link. There's all these other different things come into play. Correct. But all these things come into play in every field. It's just in the music industry, these things are highlighted. There's a swagger to being in tech. There's a swagger to being in oil. There's a swagger to being into sports or entertainment. There's a swagger to everything. There's jargon, there's lingo, there's diction for every field, right? These are things that you guys just have to learn. But a lot of times we spend more time on the look. There's a look being in tech. Tech guys have a certain, they have a casual look. There's a look being in law. There's a look being in entertainment. We spend so much time focusing on some of these other factors, but I want to spend more time focusing on the CEO mentality. Let's think about the bottom line. Cut costs, increase profits, become more efficient, create consistent systems. I want you guys to think about that. Now, I don't know everything, but I know a lot about a little bit about a lot. And every time I step in front of this thing, I'm giving you guys everything that I got. And I want you to soak this up. CEO mentality. All of you guys out there looking at, and gals out there looking to be managers, I want you to stop and think about this. Those 4 things. Improve those 4 things at the smallest level right now. If you can do it at the smallest level, the next level is nothing but a repeat of the level beforehand with just a couple more steps to it. It's just like basketball. It was the same game in Little League. It's just you got older, they raised the goal. It was the same sport in football. You just got older and they didn't have weight classes no more. It was the same thing in baseball. It's just you're not hitting off the tee anymore. It's the same game. So go ahead and perfect it at the small level so that as you grow, this mentality will grow with you. All right? Check out the website, www.phase6.com. That's phasevi.com. Go to Instagram. Check us out on Instagram. Like and subscribe. You don't have to share. I'm realizing that sharing is like a thing of the past, right? No one wants to share on their page anymore. So just DM this to somebody. Screenshot it, DM it to somebody. Put it on your live feed or your Snapchat feed or something like that. Let people know we out here. Phase 6, your boy Sirr. I'm out.